Hey there, everybody. I'm Joshua Orro, the Mustang Prince, and welcome back to Mustang Prince Oral Reports. You know, every year seems to get crazier with a certain amount of superhero films getting released. And so far this year, Pixar gave us The Incredibles 2, Marvel gave us Black Panther along with Avengers Infinity War, and they're giving us Venom and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Also, DC is giving us Aquaman. And speaking of DC, has anyone thought about the Teen Titans lately? Well, so far it's been 12 years since their 2003 series got canceled, and they just returned to Cartoon Network last year for reruns. However, I still think their spin-off series, Teen Titans Go, isn't really that good compared to the 2003 era. But for several years, I kept thinking to myself, what would it be like if the Teen Titans ever had a movie? I mean, sure, we have seen the Titans in films like Trouble in Tokyo, which I blogged last year, and we've seen them in 2 DC animated movies like these. Which I believe are way more serious compared to Teen Titans and Teen Titans Go. But just last month, the Titans got their big screen debut, which I did feel hesitant about, but let's see what I think about it. Released on July 27th, 2018, the movie is Teen Titans Go to the Movies. So, let's get shooting. So, it seems that all the major superheroes in the DC universe are starring in their own movies. All but the Teen Titans. So, Robin is bound and determined to remedy that situation by becoming a star instead of a sidekick. With a few madcap ideas and a song in their hearts, the Teen Titans head to Hollywood to fulfill their dreams. But when the group is radically misdirected by a seriously supervillain and his maniacal plan to take over the world, things really go awry. The team finds their friendship and their fighting spirit failing, putting the very fate of the Teen Titans themselves on the line. So, what do I think of this movie anyway? Well, I have mixed feelings about this film. But let's move on to Mustang notes. The film is written and produced by series developers Michael Jelenic and Aaron Horvath, whom, surprisingly, has never watched the original series. And it was directed by series producer Peter Rida Michel, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, along with Horvath. The events of the movie takes place during the 5th season of Teen Titans Go. What's also interesting is that, so far, the movie has grossed over $23 million worldwide and has received generally positive reviews from critics. Now that's just crazy. As for the animation, well, to be honest, it is nice to see a 2D animated movie on the big screen again. But, in my opinion, the animation is kind of a mixed bag for me. It looks a tad immature at times, and the character designs are way too cartoony. And I'm also shocked that there was a Stan Lee cameo outside of Marvel. But on the other hand, the way the animators designed Hollywood is pretty good. Also, the action sequences are pretty good too, though a bit kid-friendly. As for the story, well, it was a little silly, though a bit relatable, because I think the Titans deserved a big screen movie, but not on this level, though. Plus, it almost reminds me of a time when me and my sister got to be audience dancers on the Nickelodeon TV show Dance on Sunset back in 2008. What's more, this movie has a few decent hit songs in it, like Back in Time by Huey Lewis, which is, well, heard while the Titans use their time cycles to go back in time in order to prevent the origins of the other superheroes. But my favorite song in the movie is the upbeat, inspirational song about life, performed by Michael Bolton. I mean, I really love this song. Not only does it have a good message in it, but it has a great 80s beat to it. Anyway, now that we're done with Mustang notes, let's move on to the characters and the voice actors who brought him to life. The leader of the Titans, Robin, is voiced by Scott Menville. Robin utilizes a staff and various weapons to fight crime. To me, despite being a kid at heart, Robin seems very relatable. However, I find it hard to believe that Robin's hands are smaller than his gloves. Next we have Starfire, the Princess of Tamaran, voiced by Hynden Walsh, whom I remember as Jenny McBride from The Secret of NIMH 2, and also voiced Alice in Kingdom Hearts Recoded. Now, in the two TV shows, Starfire has the ability to shoot bright green colored bolts of ultraviolet energy and green laser beams from her hands and eyes. Plus, she is capable of flying faster than light, as well as using superhuman strength. Now, in my opinion, since she is one of my cartoon crushes, I think Starfire is a sweet character, and I really love the chemistry between her and Robin. Next we have Raven, voiced by Princess Melody and Twilight Sparkle herself, Tara Strong, who happens to be my favorite voice actress of all time. Anyway, Raven is a half-human, half-demon sorceress who is the daughter of a supremely powerful and dangerous demon known as Trigon. She also possesses telekinetic abilities. Now, to me, in this movie, Raven doesn't have too much of a short fuse as she had in the original series, and she has a habit of conjuring up dark portals. However, I think it is cool hearing her say Azarath, Metreon, Zinthos on the big screen. Next we have Beast Boy, a former member of the Doom Patrol voiced by Greg Sipes. Now, BB has the powers to shapeshift into different animals. Now, in my opinion, Beast Boy is pretty much the silliest member of the Teen Titans, and I really hate it when he calls Raven Ray Ray. Next is Cyborg, voiced by Carrie Payton, who happens to be the current voice of Wasabi from the Big Hero 6 TV series. Now, Cyborg is a humanoid robot member of the Teen Titans who has the power of using weapons from his mechanical body, and he's also capable of super strength. Now, in my opinion, Cyborg is still very cool, though some of his gadgets are a bit over the top. I mean, since when did Cyborg ever have a jetpack or a tape recorder in his armor, and since when could he disassemble himself? Also, in my opinion, his car that he uses in this series isn't really that impressive compared to its 2003 counterpart. Next we have Jade Wilson, voiced by Princess Anna/Cora herself, Kristen Bell. Jade is a famous filmmaker who the Teen Titans try to persuade to make a movie about them. Now, in my opinion, Jade may seem nice, but she is very serious when it comes to making movies. However, in reality, Jade is not who the Titans nor the Justice League believes to be. Next we come to the main villain himself, Slade, voiced by Will Arnett. Best known from Monsters vs. Aliens, The Nut Job, and Horton Hears a Who. Now, Slade is considered by Teen Titans fans as one of the most threatening villains. Plus, he was very intimidating back when he was voiced by Ron Perlman. But with Will Arnett voicing him, he sounds kind of too silly. However, his evil plan is pretty clever. His said plan is to use some stolen crystals on a doomsday streaming device to mind manipulate everyone watching the superhero movies. Also, his disguise as Jade Wilson reminds me of Jonathan Jacobo's disguise as Heather Jasper Howell from Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed. Plus, I'm kind of surprised that the Titans thought that Slade was Deadpool when they met him. What's also interesting is that I think Slade was the second supervillain to use mind control this year. The last one being Screenslaver in The Incredibles 2. Another character to talk about is Superman, the leader of the Justice League, voiced by Nicolas Cage. Best known from National Treasure, The Ant Bully, and The Croods. Fun fact. Originally, Nicolas Cage was slated to portray Superman in Tim Burton's canceled Superman film, Superman Lives, back in 1998. Which is pretty interesting in my opinion. Now, in the movie, Superman and the other Justice League heroes criticize the Titans for being childish and not taking anything seriously. Also, they bring up the fact that they do not have a movie of their own to prove their legitimacy. Geez, Superman, that's kind of harsh, don't you think? Anyway, let's move on to my final words. Overall, Teen Titans Go to the Movies isn't really a great movie in my opinion, but it's not terrible either. Maybe due to the fact that I'm not a fan of the Teen Titans spin-off series, I expected this movie to suck. On the positive side, it was nice to see a new 2D animated movie on the big screen since last year's My Little Pony movie, and the story may have been a bit silly, but it was very relatable. Plus, the action sequences were pretty good, and several songs were catchy to listen to. Also, judging by how well this movie has done so far, I do pray that the 2003 Teen Titans will get a 6th season on TV. As for my rating, well, I'll give it a 60% out of 100. Oh, and be sure to catch the DC Superhero Girl short, The Late Batsy, which plays before the movie starts. Well, that's all for today, everyone. Be sure to join me for my next blog, Mustang Power.